Your email signature says CEO, but your calendar tells a completely different story. If you spent this morning either fixing a piece of broken equipment, covering an employee who called out sick, or even sending out your own billing or your own estimates, let's be honest here, maybe you aren't actually performing the functions of a CEO. Right now, all you've created is a stressful, expensive job for yourself where you are the most overworked employee. We always hear work on the business and not in the business, but what does that actually mean? Today, I'm going to give you the actual job description of a CEO and founder of a business so that you can finally own what you should be doing. You know where you need to get to go to fully take on that CEO role. Stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give you a bonus of our CEO framework so you know exactly what you should and shouldn't be working on. My name's Abby Johnson. If you don't know me, I have worked with founders and business owners in over 50 different industries, which is why I feel qualified to answer this question. And I want to be really clear here before you come at me in the comments. Today, I'm talking about Main Street USA. I am not talking about the CEO of Amazon or the CEO of Uber who makes billions of dollars but also loses billions of dollars every quarter. I'm talking about the everyday Main Street business owner. So the first job of a CEO is you must protect the profit. That is why we are in business. Yes, we are here to serve a purpose and to serve our customers. We talk about that a lot here at Matterhorn, and I'm not going to discount that. But at the end of the day, if the business has no profit, the business dies. So it is the CEO's job to make sure that the business is and remains and improves the profitability. Profit is what helps you grow. It helps you give back to your customers. It helps you give back to your employees. Profit is a win-win for everyone involved. So as CEO, it is your responsibility, not your CFOs, not your secretaries, not your spouses. It is your job to make sure that the business is actually profitable. So I had a client recently who will remain nameless. His business was not profitable. The cash flow was struggling, which is why he came to us in the first place. And it was found that the person running the finances, which was not him, was actually mismanaging them. They were not paying the bills they were supposed to pay. I'm pretty sure they were bonusing themselves extra. It was a mess. And it was all because the CEO was not in the know of what was going on. It's totally fine to have someone running the day-to-day of your finances and actually executing on things in that area, but it is your responsibility as the CEO to be aware of what's going on. How much money is in the bank? What bills are due? How much money came in? How much money is going out? Why is this bill late? You do still need to have eyes on your finances if someone else is running them. All right, number 2, your job is the strategy and action of the business. So this is the actual plan of how you're going to reach the business goals. So first of all, you're setting that vision, you're setting those goals, but then also you are there to set the strategy and delegate out how we're going to achieve those goals. So here at Matterhorn, we like to use the mountain analogy. If you think of a mountain and the top of that mountain as the summit, what is your summit as the business, right? So what is top of the mountain for you? Whatever it may be, $10 million in revenue, the owner is only working 20 hours a week, you want to have 3 locations, you want to expand into the other county next to you. What is that top of mountain? Which, by the way, you can have more than one summit. Once you reach that summit, you can go climb another bigger mountain, right? But that is your job, is setting that vision and then determining how are we going to get there. There are many paths up to that summit. What's the path that we want to take? What are our values along the way? What do we want to make sure happens along the way? And then you can say to your managers or your employees, all right, you're in charge of making sure we have enough water on the walk up the mountain. You're in charge of reading the map that I drew. You basically are drawing a map for your employees, right? So you're delegating out the day-to-day, the step-by-step, and everyone's working as a team to reach that summit that you have laid out. Without drawing that map and guiding everyone, everyone's going to be running in circles. They don't know what their actual benchmarks and goals are. They don't know where the business is going. They're just going to be showing up, clocking in and out every day. If you're watching this and thinking, wow, I have not done any CEO activities in months, a great place to start is with our free cash map download. This is a spreadsheet that's going to help you dial in your profitability. It's going to show you where you stand now, what profit your business should be making, and help you make a plan to bridge that gap. So click the link below and download our free cash map today. All right, number 3 is communication. As a CEO, you should be in communication with your team. This is not just you on a beach drinking a Mai Tai and the business runs without you. Yes, that can be a goal if you want, but if that is the goal, you're probably going to need someone else to be the CEO. I would love for you to take vacations and that's fine, but you do need to be present. You do need to be communicating back and forth with your team so that you can direct them, but also so that you get their feedback on what's happening. They are boots on the ground. And if you are not getting that feedback from them, you're like in another world, on another planet, on another mountain. You're drawing a map for a completely different mountain than the one the business is actually on. So it's very important for you to be communicating back and forth with your team all the time. If you are truly in that CEO role, then your life is going to be made up more of meetings and meetings with your team rather than actual doing the work of the business. Number 4 is all of the boring stuff. This is making sure that your business is compliant. This is coordinating with your accountant, your lawyer, whatever it may be. If you have a business of a certain size, you may have someone who is in charge of just that. At one of my previous jobs, we had in-house legal, and she was the one who was in charge of making sure everything was compliant. But that's usually not the case unless you are above 10 million plus. So it is your job to make sure that taxes are being filed, your insurance is compliant. You can delegate parts of these jobs to your staff if needed, but it is on you to make sure the business is on top of everything and totally above boards. Number 5 job of a CEO is to be the face of the company. Again, I'm talking about small businesses here, Main Street USA. And if your business is above that 10 million mark, you might even have someone to do this job and be literally the face of the company, and that's all they do. But until that point, it is up to you, and you are in charge of the public relations and the face of the company. So this may be going to local community events, shaking hands, making those big strategic contacts and introductions. This could also be media work, like doing interviews with local newspapers or podcasts or whatever it may be. You can have someone who is on your team who's booking all of these things for you, and eventually you can delegate that out so that they are just known as the face of the company. Now, if this is something you aren't comfortable with, you're too shy, you don't like being in front of a camera, you don't like talking to people, it is going to be very hard for your business to grow. This is a very important step. My first advice would be to learn how to do it. Take a public speaking class, get a speaking coach, whatever it may be. This is an important skill for you to have as a leader, even just leading your employees. You can delegate this out, but again, under that 5 to 10 million bracket, it really should be you doing this directly. Okay, so I'm going to give you our bonus CEO framework here. What this framework is really what we call our 4 pillars of business basics, which is what fits in with all of the CEO duties we just talked about. So every business has to sell their service, then they need to deliver the product or service, then they need to get more new customers to sell and deliver to. And this is a process that keeps going. It keeps happening. It's a cycle in the business. Now, management is up top here, and this is what actually holds this whole engine together. So as a CEO, if you are stuck down here, this is actually what it means to work in the business. As a CEO, you want to be up here working on the business. Your attention is on this whole engine. Your job up here is profit, strategy of the whole thing, communication. This is where legal is. This is where finance is, and then PR as well. So funnily enough, everything I just went over falls into the management pillar of a business. So I just wanted to lay out these 4 pillars to help you visualize a little more what it means to actually work on your business instead of in your business. So if you're looking at this and you're a little bit overwhelmed, I'm not doing any of these things. Where do I even start? The best place to start is with profit. This is the best leverage that you can start with. And that starts with our free download of our cash map. This download is going to show you exactly where you stand and where you should be. So click the link below and download our free cash map today.